Good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to friends and family of Beverley, Louise King. Thank you for coming to celebrate the life of Beverley. We come together to acknowledge our human loss. This is a time when all of us, in one way or another, are confronted with feelings of loss and uncertainty. There will be disbelief and sadness in the hearts of many of us who are here today. Perhaps it's hard to admit, even to ourselves, how profoundly vulnerable death can make us feel. We celebrate Beverley's life even as we tremble before vulnerability. For we all know that death may come quickly or slowly, and we must face the prospect of having to give up everything we think we are before we can return to God. Our celebration of our love for Beverley cannot blunt these feelings. It's not about feeling better. It's about finding strength and support in the sharing of this love, about experiencing fully all our joy and all our sorrow. And by discovering that love can reveal itself even more deeply within loss. I want to thank each and every one of you, tell you how deeply grateful I am that you are here on behalf of Beverley. I want to let you know that the gratitude that we all share about having known Beverley, is sweeping through the thoughts of all of us, I know, at this moment. So I'd like for us to pause a little bit and in honor of Beverley's belief in the God of her understanding, I will now read Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So at this time, Valerie is going to come up and share the eulogy with us. May the God of hope fill you with joy and peace as you trust.
I don't think anybody can ever be ready for this. My mama. Beverley Louise King, Debbie. Some even knew her as Stumbleina. That was fitting. She was born August 28, 1954, in Floydada, Texas, to Cleo and Thomas King. Back in 1963, my grandmother Cleo left Thomas and she moved to Santa Cruz with her 3 daughters, my mom Bev, Vicki, and Vivian. They relocated here because my great uncle Buford lived here. Growing up, she worked in her Uncle Buford's Ocean View Steakhouse restaurant in Davenport. After that, she worked at the Crossbow restaurant, her mother's place on Mission Street, as well as helping care for her 2 younger sisters. She attended Mission Hill Elementary and Santa Cruz High School, graduating in 1972. Later that year, she joined the Army and was stationed in Höchst, Germany, where she worked as a multi-channel radio relay carrier and later as a personal driver for her platoon leader, whom she remained friends with all these years. During her service, she met my father at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I'm sure they had some good times together, but things turned bad and she ended up leaving him. She came home with me to Santa Cruz and moved in with my Aunt Vicki and my Uncle Bill. She attended Cabrillo College and earned her degree as a dental assistant. She worked for Dr. Bruce Bartlett and she loved her job. I recently saw him and he said she was the best dental assistant he had ever had. He even went to visit her in the hospital after hearing the news about my mom. He had wound up at my counter at the post office, and I didn't see him since I was a little kid, so that was pretty neat. In her younger years, she enjoyed camping and water skiing with friends. She always loved to fish. She loved Niner games. She loved music, mainly the Beatles. Over the years, I swear, I got her so much memorabilia. I think I got her everything they ever made. She loved going to concerts, and a few years ago, I actually got to take her to see Paul McCartney for her birthday, which was awesome. I also took her to see the Scorpions, Deep Purple, and Ronnie James Dio. Yeah, that was a sick show. There was always a party at our house growing up, with live bands and lots of friends. She loved spending time with her friends, parties, gatherings for football games, going to movies, having Sundays at Santa Cruz Diner, having sleepovers and watching movies with special friends. She got to do some traveling with close friends, and I know she had the best time in New York, and Vegas, and other places. In some ways, I kind of feel like I didn't even know my mom. We did have a very difficult relationship at times. My mother may not have always been able to be there for me, but she was always there for me. I knew that no matter what, I could call on her and she would do anything for me. I'm going to miss her every Valentine's Day and birthday, bringing me the most extravagant bouquet of flowers at work. I'm going to miss the cards she would pick out. She had such a gift for always finding the most beautiful and perfect cards. I'm sure some of you know that. I'm going to miss hearing her voice when I'd call and she would answer, "Hello, my darling daughter." I'm going to miss her at Thanksgiving, her yelling at me to stop picking up the turkey. And every year she would pack up a plate or 2 or even 3 to take them to friends who weren't having Thanksgiving dinner with anyone. She always thought of you. miss laughing with her. We would laugh so hard together until we were in tears. She had such a great sense of humor. I'm going to miss her always bugging me for a grandbaby. And I'll always be sad she never got to experience that. But I'll always be grateful for the time that she had with her grandniece Lily. She loved her so much. She had a lot of pictures and videos of her that I found on her phone. One of my favorite memories of my mom is Christmas of 1993. I was 13. She told me she was broke. She was so broke there would be no Christmas. No presents, no tree, nothing. And when I went to bed on Christmas Eve, there was no tree, no lights, not even a stocking. I woke up Christmas morning and came downstairs to find the most beautiful tree, completely decorated, lights, stockings up, and presents all around. I was blown away. She stayed up all night doing that for me. Apparently, Valley Churches United got hold of my Christmas list and granted all of my wishes. She wanted to surprise me, and she did. That is a Christmas I will cherish forever. Over the course of about 2 weeks, I have made over close to 200 phone calls to tell people the news of my mother's passing. Some I felt bad about because I had to leave a message, a sad message to hear. Those that I spoke to almost all said the same exact thing. Your mom helped me so much. Some even saying, your mom saved my life. Everyone I spoke to had such wonderful things to say about her. She loved her friends dearly, and she would do anything for you, going above and beyond to the ends of the earth if it was within her power. She had a huge heart and was so giving, always thinking of others. Last page. A lot of people in this room have been friends with my mom my entire life. A lot of you helped raise me and take care of me when I was little. I want to thank you for that, because she needed you, and so did I. She did the best she could with what she had, and she was a good woman with a good heart. It may not have been easy or normal or pretty at times, but she loved me so much, and I know that. I've always known that, and I love her. She was my mama. She will always be my mom, and she was the best mama. I want to thank everyone for coming today to celebrate her. I'd like to thank Sherry Brady and the Brady family for their support at the hospital. I couldn't have done this without you. I'd like to thank everybody who has brought food and has been helping. I need it. I guess now would be the time if anybody would like to come up and share. Or this is also a wireless mic. If you don't want to stand on a stage, you're welcome to stand in your seat and share. There will be a slideshow. Mom did choose 3 specific songs she wanted played, so the first 3 songs that you hear will be the ones that she chose that she wanted played. The other 2 we chose just to fill in the time. So that is it for me. Thank you.
Are there any other family members that would like to come up and share? Of course, Valerie, I think, said it all. What a beautiful, beautiful eulogy for your mom. So thank you. So, who would like to begin first?
I have a great fear of speaking in front of people, so if I continue to look down and don't look up, that's why. First of all, I want to thank Valerie. Look up and lose it. I want to thank you for holding this over a week for me to be here. I went way out of town and I couldn't be here, so thank you very much. What to say about your mom? You really said it all. She would do anything for you. You know, I like to call it, I went away for a little federal vacation. And I always got a card from your mom. You know, and it was always uplifting and, you know, telling me to, you know, to look at the bright side of it. And, you know, it took me a while to do that, but after a while I did do that. And, you know, my first birthday in there, she got together with my mom and Carol, Kathy, and a few others. And, you know, my brother Ronnie, they all sent me a card. And it had a picture of all of them, you know, saying happy birthday, holding balloons and whatnot. And, you know, of course, here I am in prison. I'm supposed to be all hardened and all that stuff. And I was like, that is the sweetest thing that, you know, I've seen ever. Yeah, your mom was a character, I like to say. She certainly was. You know, before I went and did my little vacation, we hung out quite a bit. A lot, actually. And if you knew Bev during that time, or even not during, I don't know, during that time is what I'm specifically talking about, she would come up with some things that, you know, I just chuckle. She would look at me like, what? What I'm saying is perfectly in line with, you know, reality. And I just laugh, and then after a minute, you know, she'd give a little chuckle and say, okay, maybe it's a little bit, you know, crazy. You know, I went to, it was crazy. Bev became really good friends with my mom through Bev and I's connection, and because I think Bev or whatever made a connection with my mother while I was on my little vacation, and so they became, you know, really good friends. And she would come over the house quite a bit, and, you know, her and I would talk about her health issues and stuff. And you know, to me, I was just, you know, I was saying, oh, you'll be fine, you'll be okay. And then it's crazy. It hit all of a sudden. And, you know, I went to see her in the hospital, and I couldn't believe it. I'm sure, you know, it was a shock to you too, Val. When... Anyways, I don't need to talk about all that stuff. You know, I'm very grateful that I was able to come to the hospital and be with her and be there for her, and, you know, pick up some Chinese food for her on the way. And smoke a cigarette seems kind of, you know, minor, but to me it was important. And crazy, but I'll always cherish that. It was great to be there for her. And, I love you, Bev. You'll never be missed.
Hi, my name is Cynthia, and I'm actually one of Bev's relatively new friends. I've known Bev about a year and a half. I met her through Carol and Carol's little family, Kathy, Ronnie, Shane, and a few other people. I wanted to say that your mother, I'm newly homeless. I've been homeless for a year. And your mother, at one time being homeless, was a great support to me in the beginning. In the very beginning, I was about a month after I was homeless. I went over to Carol's house. I was spending one night at Carol's house. And unfortunately, all of my clothes were stolen out of the back of my truck before I could get them up into her house, and which was pretty devastating and shocking. And Ronnie, bless his heart, Ronnie went into the different homeless camps trying to find my clothes for me, because he understood what it was like, and he had the guts to go into those places to try to help find my stuff. But your mother was one of the first people that said, "I've got some stuff for you." And she started to replace some of my clothes, and that was just part of the generosity of your mom. She was just so sweet. And her and I became actually fast friends. And we got to hang out several times and had some good times at at Carol's house. And do separate, and we started doing other things together, going out to lunches, and just spending a lot of quality time. And your mom was one of the best human beings that I've ever met. With a very kind, just a very kind and loving heart. And she was so easy to get along with, and a very supportive lady. And I just wanted to let you know really what a good person your mother was, and to a lot of different people. And she had a lot of people I know that really loved her. And especially I know she had a very close relationship with Carol and Sherry and, Ronnie. And just, I know she has a lot of different micro friends and, different people. And she always talked about, how great her friends were. But your mother was really good to me. And I'll never forget that. Thank you.
Bevy, she's done just so much for everybody, but I'll just never forget coming to Santa Cruz and being that I've had a DUI, which took me 12 years to get rid of. If it wasn't for Bev picking me up and driving me down to the house for the DUI school, I probably wouldn't have gotten a license. And just so many things that she's done. It's kind of just now hit me that she's really not here. And looking at my phone, I've had this phone for almost 2 years. And she set it up, and it was on her account up until, about 3 weeks ago. And she's just such a beautiful person, for everything she's done for everybody, and she will definitely be missed. Definitely be missed. I love you, Becky. Thank you.
My name is Bill, and I was a friend of Dad's probably for, 25 years or so. Thanks, Valerie. That was incredible. Really loved that. Yeah, I was one of those that helped create that party atmosphere for Valerie when she was preteen, teenager, up in the Scotts Valley days, and we used to have a lot of fun. And one thing about Bev, that no matter what we were doing or how hard we were partying and all that stuff, no matter what went on, you kind of crash out at the house and hang out, and and she'd get up, and she would sit there, eggs, bacon, pancakes, the whole thing. I'd be sitting there, sometimes fairly hungover, let's be honest here about what's going on, and she would be, here's breakfast, and you just kind of go, what? How was she doing this, and that's one thing that I loved about Bev, was that she just had this upbeat energy about her that she carried with her through thick and thin, through all the trials and tribulations that she went through. She carried that energy with her everywhere she went. And it was always amazing to me, that positive vibe that she had, no matter what was going on in life. She had that for her friends. And remember, she had this book of zodiac astrology, right? And she made everybody sign in their birthday on it. And for anybody that know her and got in that book, you get a phone call on your birthday. You know that. I know there's people in this room, probably half of you. Every birthday I had, she would call. And I wouldn't recognize the number because we lost touch after a number of years and stuff. And she'd call, hey, it's me, happy birthday. Oh, man, right on. And she always remembered that stuff. And that was the heart that she carried with her, and the spirit that she had, And like everybody's talked about, she showed up. And especially when the chips were down, you could really count on Bev to be there for you. She would do that for you. So, here's to Bev on her next journey, and where God's taken her, because I know the Lord has her, right in the palm of his or her hand. He was there for her, because you know what? Bev had faith. That's one thing. A ton of faith. She taught me a lot about that. She didn't waver on any of that stuff, no matter what. She always had faith in her. So, thank you.
Can you hear me? My name's Kathy, and I've known Bevy for maybe 5 years. She was really, really good. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay. So, my name's Kathy. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
I've known Bevy for about 5 years, and I love her very much. She was always a good friend, and I'll really miss her. I remember one time on Carol's birthday, we went to that cake shop to get her Carol's birthday cake, and I've always been the tallest person, tall. And I remember walking down the street with her, and we just looked at her, I'm going, no one can hear me? Some. Are you serious? I'm a very loud person. I never used one of these things. Now I'm so weird. Okay, so can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Okay, great. So I met Bev Michelle, and Bev and I had a relationship with the litter of puppies that we had rescued from this house. People had left. They just left these dogs, these puppies, and her and I just kept coming back to the house because we couldn't leave those puppies. And that's our relationship. This is a rescue. We rescued the mom, and she rescued the father of the puppies, and I think she took the puppies with her. And I think Valerie had a puppy as well. That was, I don't want to say this about her puppies. So,
So I knew Bev, she came to live with me in Scotts Valley, and we were good friends all the time. And then I lost, once in a while I wouldn't see her that much, but I'm so nervous right now. But I remember we went camping together. I took her to the Russian River, and she was so happy. She wanted to go do that again. We had a blast. We got in inner tubes and floated down the river. It was during the reggae festival, and we had a great time. I love Bev very much. I miss her.
My name is King, no relation. I'm like the other lady talking about people, so. Anyway,
Speak into the mic.
it was weird how I met Bev. She was living in an apartment in Beverley, and after she moved out, I moved in there. And this was in '92, and I started getting mail for Beverley King. So I kept sending it back to the post office, and then all of a sudden Bev did a change of address, and then I wasn't getting my mail. And she was getting mail. And I was working at Annie Maine's, and our good friend Milani introduced us, and she said, "This is Bev King." And I said, "Did you live in Beverley?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm Colette King." And she said, "I've been getting your mail." And I said, "Well, stop. And it was from that day on, we just clicked. And she was that kind of person that you just, those kind of people that when you first meet them, you just feel like you've known them forever. She was like that. She just had a way about her. And I didn't know her a lot like you guys did, but we had a different kind of relationship. And in my whole life, I've had friends, but I've never had what I would consider a best friend. And she was my best friend. She is. She was Louise, and I was Donna. We got into a lot of trouble together. Both birthdays in August, so we did our birthdays together. We would go out of town, spend a night or two in hotels, and pretend we were some other people, just being weird. And she liked to pretend that we would go into a restaurant, and some guys would come up, of course, but she had those long legs that were edited and long hair, and guys would hit on her, and she would give them a different name, and of course they'd ask for a phone number, and she was giving them a phone number that was not even in this country. I just had to get used to it, and after a while I was like, okay, I can work with this. So it became our thing. So we always, and all of a sudden I started having an accent that I didn't know I had. I learned from her. She was great at making me feel good, because I hated my birthdays. I hated them so bad. But she made me realize that I could have fun, and I could be anybody that I wanted to be. But I deep down knew that she knew who I was, and I knew who she was. And I wrote a poem for her that I would like to share. It's not long. Oh, dear Lord, in the heaven above, will you bless this one above, start over. Oh, dear Lord, in the heaven above, will you bless this one we love? Will you guide and keep her true? Because, dear Lord, we loved her too. I miss you, Louise. Thanks, Bev.
I have a really loud voice. My nickname is Babe, and I've known Bev for, I want to use my fingers, 42 years. We were in the Army. Okay, I just got to get it together. We were in the Army together in Germany, and that's where I met her. Both of us loved to play pool, and we loved to party. And I just learned of her middle name because I swore to God it was Bev Party. But anyway, we stayed friends for 42 years, but there was a lot of time in between where I live down in the high desert in Apple Valley, and so we didn't see much of each other through our lives, but stayed in touch, and then there was big gaps. But she was a very loyal friend, and we did have a lot of fun, and we went to a lot of concerts. I just want to tell you a funny story. When I was in the Army with her, she got strep throat, and I was the driver, and we had to go to 97th General in Frankfurt. And she was so sick. She was just like really sick. And I felt awful all the way there, and then they gave her a little bottle of Actifed. If anybody knows what that is, it's kind of a joke. And she had strep throat. And they gave her a bottle of Robitussin, it was a glass bottle, and if you know what Robitussin, it was this red liquid. And she asked the doctor guy, what am I supposed to do with this? And he said, well, you need to take that. And she basically said, bullshit. And she took it and she threw it against a white wall. And it broke. I couldn't get her out of there fast, and I was like, oh my God, Bev. But she showed me she was not going to stand down to anybody. She stood up to people. Anyway, she was my tall friend, and I will miss her too. And I'm grateful that she no longer suffers, and I'm sorry that she's gone. And I want to say one of the best things that I've ever seen her produce was Miss Valerie. I think she's the most beautiful person I've met in so long. So, be happy for that. Anyway, I loved her, and y'all did too. And I can't believe I got up here. Thank you. Anybody else? Good?
Bev would be quiet at these moments, so get out there and talk.
No, that would like to call the party.
Should we end this and eat some food?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we all love you.
Oh, yeah, you're here.
It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be part of our memories of Beverley, and for all of us to come together and share our joy and also share the loss. And thank you again for coming, and thank you, Valerie, for asking me to be the officiant, and I consider it a great honor. And so, without any further ado, I'd like for us to take a moment of silence, and I'm going to share a little prayer with you. If we can all bow our heads in honor and respect. God of us all, your love never ends. We pray to you for one another in our need, and for all anywhere who mourn us with us this day. To those who doubt, please give them light. To those who are weak, please give them strength. To those who sorrow, please give them peace. Keep true in us the love with which we hold each other, O God. All you have given us is yours. At first you gave Beverley to us, so now we give Beverley back to you. Amen.